think it was Barack Obama's identity politics, and I'll say it again. You can disagree with me, please do. This idea that everybody's a victim, everybody starts to point fingers and says, oh, back then so-and-so was treated this way, back then so-and-so was treated this way. I must not be as good. I don't have to work as hard. I should be able to get reparations. I should be able to get the fast track, like our Italian mayor over there. Welcome to Stay in the Gray podcast. We explore news that gets people talking by blending comedy and controversy.
Brutal banner, feel the word, shadow streets love hurt.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Trey. Together we dive into tough topics with a combination of humor and some insight.
So join us as we navigate the gray areas of the world and engaging in real conversation.
Come get to know us.
Hey guys. Welcome back. Glad to be here today. And lovely cool day in Dallas, which finally is here. Let's get some people riled up today, which is what we tend to do. And I'm not sure why. I think everybody, I've made my point many times. Everyone needs to relax. Let's really think about things and have a conversation. And that's what I'm going to do today. Sit back and listen to this and see what you think before lashing out. And then go ahead and lash out, because I'm sure our butthurt comment of the show will come from this topic today that we're going to talk about. We'll get to it. But it's almost Thanksgiving, which might give you a little foreshadowing as to what we're going to talk about. But first, as usual, let's roll with the headline that got through editing. This one's great. It's, if I can find it. Where did it go? Here it is. World Bank says poor need more money. So I'm not sure the writer's intent there, but poor people need more money, in case you did not know that already. Let's move on. Today's butthurt comment is pretty simple. It was in response. I put this wonderfully done video of a scene from Entourage up when we realized that Trump was going to win, and they were showing it, and then someone jumped on this opportunity. It was Ari Gold, who's an agent, jumps out of the elevator as he's reacquired the agency. And he's paintball gunning people, and you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And so someone put the names of all the Democratic leaders on there as he's going through, and it was great. It was well done. But of course, you get some comments from the losing side. And this one says, the only thing that traitor can hunt down is a fast food burger and Diet Coke. And in and of itself, that's fine. Yeah, butt hurt. But this is the point. You're butt hurt. I mean, I don't know what that does. Okay, people drink Diet Coke. Fast food is not good for you. Didn't hurt my feelings, but people kept going, and of course everybody. My question is, what traitorous act has he been convicted for? People like to say traitor. If anything, he's the one that wants to keep our money here. He's the one that wants to do these things. This isn't going to be a Donald Trump show per se, but you don't sit here and throw out words and slanderous words like that when there's no credibility to it. I mean, if you want to technically use the word felon, you can now, and everybody's so excited about that. The further down you realize this person's actually from New Zealand, which is why I made it the butthurt comment of the show. Just shut up. You're in New Zealand. I mean, look, all you Kiwis, I love you guys. You guys are great. I hear it's gorgeous there. It's on my bucket list. But you have 47 people that live there, and you don't understand American politics. And there's probably like one publication that you're going by, if not the worldwide ones that are anti-Trump. So you don't need to, the fast food shot, just take it all of America. You can just give it to us, because we all have an issue with that. So I'll move on from about her comments. But New Zealand, you do you. We'll do us. Thank you. In news, so I've got one kind of interesting story I'll give you, and then one that kind of has me a little bit flustered. But the first story is where I miss my co-host Trey, and I'll keep you posted on Trey, and he's fine. And when he gets back, this is what I'd ask him if he was involved in this somehow, some way. But the toy company Mattel, I believe that's the big ones, Barbie and some of the toys that we've had for years and years. They're putting together a Wicked, the movie, the dolls package. And apparently they have links now. I mean, these days everything's in QR code and links. They had links to the movie's website, the official website. So when you bought the doll for your child, you could go to the website yourself or have them do it if they're old enough. Well, apparently a large number of these boxes, the link went directly to a porn site. I kid you not. And I just got the visual of some kid with his mom or dad sitting there like all excited to go to the movie's website because apparently there was some games or some things, pictures and things like that were special if you bought the toy. And just all of a sudden having this pop up. And I'm trying to figure out what Wicked like might give you or send you to. But Trey would probably test this out for us, and maybe he still will and report back. But Mattel's statement, which we're all waiting for, said, "We deeply regret this unfortunate error." Well, good, Mattel. Thank you for saying that. It was mostly in the United States, which, of course. But this Mattel, this is the part that we all need to know. Mattel encourages the people who have purchased this product to dispose of the boxes, just in case. So I thought it was a funny story. Let's talk about Italy. And one specific spot in Italy on the island of Sardinia. It's either Sardinia or Sardinia. I think I'm not quite sure. So any Italians out there, correct me. I'm going to go with Sardinia, I think. There's a village on Sardinia called here we go again. Ololai or Ololai. I'll do Ololai. It's a bunch of O's and L's. And there's a mayor in this village, and he claims that he's had inquiries after putting out an ad, or a website, I should say, offering people who are hurt and people who are scared of Donald Trump being elected into office a place you can go and rebuild and start your life. He's offering €1 housing. Give him €1 and you can have a beautiful home, which I'm going to have my guys put up right here or over here, wherever they prefer. Somewhere on the screen, you'll see pictures of this beautiful this getaway, this fantasy land where you can pay €1 for a project, by the way. So oddly enough, these will be the projects of Sardinia. And you are in charge of course, finishing the foundation, I guess. These are homes that are not yet ready to be homes, if you will, and completely dilapidated. And the ad reads on the website, "Are you warned?" Well, he can't even speak English. He said, "Are you warned? Are you warned out by global politics? Time to start building a European escape in paradise of Sardinia." I went and looked, and as you're seeing, I don't see paradise. If I looked up the word paradise, this would not be my thought. Apparently, there are some beaches like an hour away. Okay, good for you. Maybe this is a fantasy paradise for some. There are other homes available if you don't want to renovate for €100,000, £83,000, and ironically enough, even though they're focusing on America, they don't have a dollar amount. I'll do it for you. £83,000 ends up being about $135,000 to $140,000. I don't know if you know that, but that's not a lot of money for these places. I'm assuming this little village needs a lot of work, and there have been no pictures added to the website. Of course, it says coming soon pictures. I'm giving you a couple right here. The mayor says the focus is on Americans first. We will fast track them to the head of the line for purchase. We're betting they are our ticket to the boom that will happen here in the village of Ololai. So this guy's basically saying straight up, you're going to bring your money here and you're going to make this place good. Leave America. Big bad orange man is there now. He's going to make America great again, no pun intended. And now you can go to this town and give them all your money and make it look beautiful and bond. I can't tell, maybe you can, how many, sorry, I have something in my eye. how many people are there, but it doesn't look like a lot. So you better like the people that are around you. So I just thought that was stupid and interesting at the same time. Pretty smart business move by the mayor and by some of the people there. But if you have, behind all of this is the seriousness of, if you really are sitting here in the United States, like all these movie stars are claiming, and I don't know the validity and the accuracy of some of this reporting, but if these celebrities, Clooney and there was a big one about Ellen and her wife, pretty hot, Portia de Rossi, I believe is her name, going over to Great Britain and going to do all, we're out of here for good. I speak on behalf of most people who, number one, are real Americans, and number two, who don't give a shit what you do. Go. Nobody cares. If your life is affected because Ellen DeGeneres moved to Great Britain, why are we hearing this story? Stay here. If you believe that things can be different and better, stay here. The vast majority of this country disagrees with you. So go ahead, get the fuck out. Let's go on. Let's move on to the main topic tonight. And I think this will get people fired up. I think this will hopefully get people actually to understand how this relates to other issues that we're dealing with today when it comes to a victim mindset, this culture that we have now. We can argue when it began and how it began. I think it was Barack Obama's identity politics, and I'll say it again. You can disagree with me, please do. But this idea that everybody's a victim, everybody starts to point fingers and says, oh, back then so-and-so was treated this way. Back then so-and-so was treated this way. I must not be as good. I don't have to work as hard. I should be able to get reparations. I should be able to get the fast track, like our Italian mayor over there. And it's a mindset that, in my opinion, has brought down what this country's about. It used to be come here and prosper, come here and work hard, come here and be innovative and help. That's why we were, probably still are by a thread, one of the most prosperous places in the world. And the top, even entertainment. I'm just yelling at the actors, but entertainment industry, music industry, research. There's so many things that the United States is on top of. Some of them are on top too much when it comes to medications and medicine, Western medicine. There needs to be some things worked on there to not be such a money grab, but it's still the top, the top. And so I want this mindset to go away. And in honor of Thanksgiving, I do want to talk about, why do we have Thanksgiving? First off, everybody knows, and it stemmed back to some of the storybook tales of the Pilgrims and the Indians, who shouldn't be called Indians. They should be called Native Americans, or Native American Indians, I guess, if you will, because Columbus fucked up and thought he was in India. They became Indians. So let's talk about that. Every image you see for Thanksgiving, and not every image, but many of them are this whole, here are the Native Americans handing corn. Here are the Pilgrims giving whatever the fuck they're giving, and sitting down at a table together, eating. What are you thankful for? We're going to coexist. Let's work together. Well, if you bring it to reality, I believe that was the intent. I believe there was an intent to coexist. I do believe that the Native Americans were like, we've been here for a while. This is kind of just disruptive, and we're not happy about it. But this land is vast. Because you were a nomadic people, how about we share? I don't know. I still believe in, I know for a fact that human beings have been a exploration and conquer type species since we've known. That's all that's ever happened. This was not a first time situation. It's happened all over the world. Doesn't justify it, but it's the way it is. It's not unusual. That's why people got so mad at me for giving Elon Musk's quote about slavery. Everybody's ancestors have been slaves at some point, some percentage of your blood. It just depends on how far you want to go back and where. People got so upset about that comment. But it's true. You don't like it, but it's true. That doesn't take away from what this country did and how it affects, how it affected people to a certain point in our own country. And I agree with that. And so I'm not downplaying the slavery in this country. But if you want to talk about it as a whole, you have to include everybody, especially these people that want to be globalists. They don't want to be globalists when it's about the bad stuff about the United States. So let's talk about it. What got me thinking about this and what got me so frustrated is you go on social media, which is it tends to be the spark of all my frustration in life. And you see these pages and these people's accounts that are devoted to Native Americans, whether it's a tribe or a territory or a land. That's what these pages are. And so what you'll see are just complete, pro, and that's fine, pro Native, pro this, it was our land, little cartoons about, we should have built the wall here. It's, whatever, fine. If it makes you feel better, great. It's stupid, but if it makes you feel better, great. But what gets me is when you proudly post a picture of young girls sometimes these girls are teenagers, sitting in front of Mount Rushmore, flipping it off like it's some sort of powerful gesture. One of them had a picture of 4 Native Americans and said, these are the real founding fathers. Well, no, they are not. This was not the United States. This was a bunch of land that was taken over, or that was primarily people that were living on this land didn't really have borders. They didn't have any kind of established government. They had their own, their own type or whatever, but nothing was killing each other. That's a fact. A lot of the issues with, which I'll talk about in a second, with European weapons was that Indians were so excited to upgrade their weaponry so that they could kill the other Indians. And no one wants to talk about these things. And we'll get there. Let's I had the guys put up pictures of these classy people flipping off Mount Rushmore also, and I'm not sure if they're still up there, but if they are, you see what I'm talking about. And what is that going to do? What does it do? Does it make somebody like myself go, "Oh wow, yeah, these poor people"? By the way, who had nothing to do with this at all, not even close. And that's a great segue. The original settlers actually, if you want to talk about it. So the Native Americans as we know them, of course, coming across the land bridge, Siberia, across into what is now Alaska, 16,000 years ago is the guesstimate, right? The original settlers before them trace back to almost 37,000 years. Some argue that it's less, like 27,000 years, but a lot of them believe it was during the last ice age. What happened to those people? I mean, I'm assuming there was some assimilation between what we know as Native Americans and these people, but they could have easily been wiped out, and they were known to be European. They came from ancient Europe. So maybe the Europeans were here first, if you want to piss some people off and say that. But how do we know that they weren't slaughtered and removed from the land? How do we know? We don't. That's my point. No one knows exactly what went on. You just can't. You can hear stories. Native Americans tell you one thing. Textbooks, which sadly probably aren't fully accurate either, will tell you another. Our kids will learn one thing and some kids will learn another. But you have a victim mindset still, and I'll get to that. Just to put it in perspective, the 10th and 11th century was when the Vikings were believed to have been here, evidence of that. Christopher Columbus ran into Puerto Rico, I believe, one of the isles over there, accidentally in 1492. We all know that. I don't agree with either giving him all this credit in the world, and I also don't agree with chastising the guy either, which is what happens now every Columbus Day. They want to rename it because he was an asshole. Really? You've hung out with him? Then you got, of course, 1620, Mayflower, the Pilgrims. Guess when the Trail of Tears was? 1831. So you're talking about hundreds of years of interaction between Europeans and Native Americans. Hundreds of years. This isn't something, people call it genocide and the Europeans stole the land. This is hundreds of years. This wasn't like the Europeans landed and 2 years later the Trail of Tears happened and all the Indians were fucked. It wasn't like that. It was hundreds of years of an attempt to coexist, an attempt to assimilate to each other's lifestyles. And when they couldn't, both sides, somebody was going to end up losing. Somebody was going to end up not being able to handle it. Somebody was going to end up, it shifted. And it became the people that, I'm not going to sit here and apologize because maybe ancestors or my blood won in that situation, or did what every other human being group has done, which is explore and end up having to conquer. There are winners and losers in history, and there's the saying that winners write history, but go read and you'll see both sides. I'm staying in the gray, and that's all I want people to do, and they don't. I'm tired of hearing how big and bad and mean the European settlers were, and how innocent and infallible the Native Americans were, because that's not the case. It wasn't the case over hundreds of years. And we'll talk about it. The Native Americans were so addicted to alcohol, which the Europeans proudly brought, the weapons, the trade. I mean, they traded away everything. They gave everything just to get that alcohol, to get those weapons. That addiction, that's an issue. That's something they had. I mean, if you're blaming somebody else for something, you don't blame me for somebody else's alcoholism down the road. You just don't. The disease is an interesting one because their immune systems were not capable of handling what the Europeans brought. But that is not mutually exclusive to this territory and this time period. Just 100 years prior, 150 years prior to Christopher Columbus hitting Puerto Rico, the Black Plague happened in Europe. A third of Europe dead because of Chinese disease, and the immune systems there weren't capable of handling it. Tons of Americans died in the tropical islands of malaria. This wasn't unique. This wasn't a situation where it's like, see, Europeans genocide with disease. Well, the majority of deaths that happened were from diseases. Again, it's happened all over the world. The brutality that happened on both sides. They're asshole colonists. They're asshole Native Americans. When you put those together, you're going to get some asshole moves. You're going to get brutality. And all I know is that if you research Native American tribes, what we know is humanity, and what we know is some sort of, I don't know if you call it morals or something. Some of the things that they did were procedures and activities, for lack of a better word, that we would think just horrible. Human sacrifices, what do you call it? De-organ. They rip out the organs as torture. Scalping, that's the common one that you hear when they would raid villages. And then I hear, oh, well, they were angry because of their land was being stolen. This is a big damn continent, people. Okay, your land's not stolen. You're trying to coexist. People couldn't coexist, and guess what? Somebody else won. That's the way it works. I'm tired of it. The biggest reason, and if this was 5 years removed, okay, great. Yes, we need to talk about it. We need to figure out how to take care of the remaining Native Americans, and we still do, and we'll get to that. We do, but I just want to know how long the mindset's going to last. How long is the victim mindset going to last? Is it forever? Is the United States and North America forever supposed to apologize to Native Americans and anybody related? Are we supposed to apologize to Elizabeth Warren, who claims she's 1/16 something, to people that have a little bit of blood? Is there a guilt that we're supposed to feel? Are they supposed to continue to have a leg up with reparations? How long? I want to know. It's been long enough, in my opinion. So let's talk about those reparations. Currently, there's a Bureau of Indian Affairs. Again, I'm not sure why they call it Indian Affairs. I thought they were the Bureau of Indian Affairs. I don't know why they call them Indians. We're not supposed to do that. I thought it should be Bureau of Native American Affairs, but that's just my opinion. They give financial assistance, food, shelter, healthcare, housing renovations, funding for tribal communities. They have something called the FAST, the Financial Assistance and Social Services, Indian Health Services, which is IHS. They have the Tribal Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act. Still, last I checked, every single person that had Native American blood could go to school, the same school, could go and apply for a job, can buy the same things, use the same technology, utilize the same advances in technology in our world, live in the United States, be an American as everyone else is. There's nowhere at all that says that you can't act, behave, participate in the same things anybody else can. But they also have the programs. They also have help. They have programs that will push them to the top, that will help them to be successful, to have more opportunity for something that happened hundreds of years ago. It's like apologizing it makes no sense. It's like apologizing during a war. It's like the Greeks, Sparta, whoever won that shit, Sparta wins. They apologize to the Greeks for hundreds of years. Sorry, we won. I mean, it'd be like Vietnam apologizing to us. Sorry that you wasted so much time. We feel guilty. It's ridiculous. If these people were being held down, if these people were being like literally like, you cannot do this, sure. Yeah, we've got a problem. We got to fix it. And right now we're still offering it. Where's the accountability though? Where is the, you know what? I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get a job and I'm going to prosper. I'm going to work hard. And I'm going to do all these things. I don't need help. I don't want help. Now, if we're talking about the land, which is what people, I know what you're thinking. Let's talk about the land and the reservations that these people are still living on, wanting to carry out their culture as much as they can. Then put your phones away. Put your cell phones away. Put your technology away. Quit driving your cars. Quit living in houses. Live on your land. Talk to us. Talk to us. Who am I? Talk to the government. Instead of taking all the money and continuing to enjoy the fruits of everyone's labor, instead of continuing to advance and enjoy people's innovation, how about you go and set aside some land and live like you want to live, that you're claiming you're not allowed to do. But leave that cell phone behind. Leave all the things behind that anybody but you wants to live by. I'm not being mean. I'm not being harsh. I'm being realistic. The victim mindset in this country has got to go. I don't think about these things until I see a picture of somebody flipping off Mount Rushmore. Those are the founding fathers. I don't care if you want to sit here and say, oh, here are the four founding fathers and have four Native Americans. That's not true. Again, the United States of America was not here. They didn't find it. They didn't help found it. They didn't help establish it. This country is this country because of the founding fathers, because of European people escaping religious persecution. It was built off, people say it's built off slavery. It was. There's a history in this country, and there was no original anything to the United States except for what you're seeing. Those guys on Mount Rushmore had an impact. Your chiefs that you're claiming were the original founders, sure, they may have made an impact for your culture at the time. Good for them. That's great. They were not the founding fathers. Things like this are stupid. Things like this need to not be said. All you're trying to do is all you're going to do is fire people up, and all you're going to do is make people want to back away and not care, and that's the problem. So this Thanksgiving, yes, I kind of brought it down a little bit. I just want people to understand, like we do in this show, there's a gray area. In what I took about 20 minutes to say is really just summed up in one thought. It's not big bad European people are mean. Poor, infallible Native Americans who are gentle, and they spoke to the birds, and they had peaceful smoking of the pipes in a circle, and all the stereotypical cliches that are strewn about when it comes to that culture. There were many cultures within that culture. I mean, I've done some. I mean, I've been looking into this. I took a class in college And to say that's the case and that they were just brutally slaughtered, and that you use the word genocide is frustrating because that's just not true. If you think somebody came here and said, we're going to start genocide and it's going to take us 600 years, I would argue that that's probably not what the goal was. And there's also proof of that. There was business deals and housing developments and things that went up all up and down the East Coast. There was the Spanish were involved, the French were involved. Everybody's involved here with the New World. And it wasn't as simple as the big bad European landed on the shoreline and slaughtered all the Native Americans and planted the flag and said, hey, too bad, but you got to go. That's not how it happened. And so that's all I want are people to just remember there's more to it. It was over a long period of time. And this Thanksgiving, let's just be thankful for where we are today. We're alive. Hopefully you're healthy. If not, let's get healthy. Let's start just respecting people again and talking. And all of you that disagree, some of you are probably like, I've been saying the same thing, Ryan. And some of you are probably upset right now and saying, hey, how could you possibly say something like that? How could you be so mean? Well, think about why you're asking me that and really understand that it's because you've been indoctrinated to think white man, European bad, Native American, innocent, good. We just talked about it with the Washington Redskins, that football franchise. It was the white guilty liberals that felt like, I'll take the word liberal off. It was just white people that felt guilty who were offended by the last name Redskins for the Washington American football team. Now they're getting sued by Native American tribes saying that, no, it was about red war paint, Redskins. That chief was on the helmet. It was an honor. Who are we to sit here and talk about it? It's not just black and white. It's not simple. And all I want are the people that are spouting the victim card to just stop. And let's come together. And if you believe you need reparations because of something that happened to somebody who may or may not have been related to you 400 years ago, it's time to get off the couch and go to school or go get a job, one of the two, and to quit mooching off everybody. And I'll end that topic there. So, but I do hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. This probably will be out Tuesday before it. So enjoy some football and lots of food. I'm already dreading how I'm going to feel Friday, but enjoy everything. For those of you that care of the Texas A&M, Texas Longhorn football game, the first time in 14 years, the rivalry's back. I will be there. I'm sure I'll post something from there. Hopefully it goes the good guys' way, which would be my team, not Trey's. But he's not here to defend himself. But have a good holiday. Think about this and write me. Please do. Go on social media. I'm going to be putting all the reels up. Try and be respectful. Try and prove me wrong by just having a conversation. And that's all I ever try to do. So, good Thanksgiving, guys, and we'll see you next time. Love you.
Find the light in the gray. We'll find our sight. Brutal banner, fierce words.